we'd like to welcome you back to part 4 of our Health Corner for October 17th, 2017. This is basically general health protocols, recommendations, clinical nutritional recommendations, and the crossovers from standard process to the new product line that I've brought in. The next product that we left off on, and I've already covered this, was the Phosfood. And that the direct crossover with superphosphozyme liquid. I covered that in depth in, I think, part 1. So you've already heard it if you've heard the other. The next one is pituitrophin. I've already covered that one as well. The crossover have a cytozyme PT-HPT. It's a better product. You're covering both pituitary and hypothalamus in one, which really, if you're going to treat one, you need to treat the other because you never know which one might be the weak link because they affect one another quite a bit. So it's a superior product, and that's also by Biotics. $17 for a 60-count bottle. Pneumotrophin, covered that one. That's the dedicated lung product from Standard Process. The crossover is the Pneumozyme, and it's spelled with a P. P-N-E-U-M-A, Zyme. Lung concentrate. Best lung product I have ever seen in my life. It's amazing. It's got everything you need basically for the lungs in one fell swoop. $30 for 100 tablets. And then prolamine iodine, which is a popular product that I had from Standard Process. The one I brought in is called Iodozyme HP. And it is 120 tablets for $34. I believe you're getting double the amount of iodine per tablet in the Iodozyme. Yeah, you're getting double. So it's twice as strong, and you're getting more tablets per bottle, and that's 34. A huge one. That's another one that you could say, well, what's your fifth product to add in on any You could say iodine easily, because iodine is something that's universally deficient in the food supply for the most part. And that's one that can have a tremendous effect on your metabolism. 90% of it's stored in the thyroid, so any thyroid case you need it for. It's very, very important for immune system function and a lot of other different things that go on in the body. So iodine is one of those hugely important products. Next product, prostate PMG, which was the prostate glandular that Standard Process produced. Let me just check this one. Yeah, basically the description is Palmetto Plus is a source of saw palmetto, minerals, vitamins, carotenoids, and other synergists designed to support healthy prostate function. It differs from... Okay, that's just about another product. So, I mean, really, I only do like one a day. Its dosage is 3 per day. If you did that, you're probably really going to see a therapeutic effect. It's also, like all their products, has a special glaze over it. You have to worry about degradation or oxidation of the tablet, and it's in a food base, and it has catalase and superoxide dismutase, which just activates everything. So, and a therapeutic dose of zinc. So, it's kind of like one-stop shopping for the prostate. The next one, which was kind of a recent product that Standard Process introduced, and I talked a little bit about, was called ProSymbiotic. It was kind of a flora-type product. I sold some of it, but I never really got any kind of feedback. I didn't get a lot of reorders. And that's what I go by a lot of times, is if it's a product's working, I'm going to get reorders, okay? And I really didn't that much. So that one, I would just say you would be better off doing the Flora 2014 Ultra Strength Bionate, the 60 capsules for $42. And like I said, you really only need one per day, so one bottle would last you 2 months. You always take that empty stomach. Next product's Renafood. I've already covered that. The best. It was the main one I had for kidneys before, and the Renal Plus 180 count for $25 is by far superior value and a superior product because it just has a lot more in it for the kidneys. And then again, if you want to take it to the next level, you could do the Cytozyme KD, which is the specific glandular to rebuild, replenish, and strengthen the kidneys, and that's 18. The RNA was the one I talked about for balance and recharging the cerebellum. And the product I have for that is Nucleozyme Forte, a 90 count capsule for 30. And then the next one is Rheumaplex, which was the one it's kind of like Osteoplex that I talked about before for osteoarthritis. Well, this is the one for rheumatoid arthritis. And it's essentially the same protocol I've got for the rheumatoid. It's the ENS Flame powder, 30 servings, the liquid ionic boron, and then the magnesium. I would do a very similar protocol regarding both of those. SP Cleanse was my kind of like all-in-one total body cleanse. It really didn't emphasize any particular organ system. It wouldn't be like a liver cleanse. It would be more of an overall. And the one I've brought in for that is called Multi-Phase Detox. It's more of a whole body cleanse like the SP Cleanse if you wanted to go that route. 90 capsules for 42. I would say what you'd want to do is if you were just going to do a month cleanse of this, you'd want to get 2 bottles and do 6 a day. And that way you would have it done in a month. Next one, or you could add it to the liver detox protocol that I had talked about before as an add-on. Some people did that before. The next one, Spanish black radish. Not one I've really talked about a lot. That was a standard process product, more of a free radical quencher, a liver detoxer, a bowel detoxer type of thing. Good product. The one I've brought in, the closest that I could come to this one was a garlic and parsley 90 soft gel. It's kind of a garlic parsley blend that has a very similar effect to Spanish black radish. And that's for somebody that wants to do garlic as well. It's a good one, and that's 16. Spleen PMG by Standard Process, which was their glandular for the spleen. I'm using the Biotics Cytozyme SP, which is the spleen. And I believe, again, all their glandulars are just superior. Super EFF, which was a essential fatty acid product that Standard Process made. Again, I would use the Pharmex Fine-ish fish oil, 120 caps for $40. That's the main fish oil I'm using. Again, you're covering you're replacing a lot of different products with that fish oil. I mean, a lot of different things. Simplex F, which was the female glandular from Standard Process, and I believe I still got Simplex F and Simplex M in stock, but the one that I would use to replace Simplex F by Biotics is Cytozyme F, which is their female glandular combo. Again, a superior blend there. I've already covered Simplex M, which is the male glandular. Thymex, which would be a short-term, this is from Standard Process, a short-term product you would use in typically a bacterial infection. It's a main component of the product I talked about before, Conjuplex, but you could take it discreetly in this form. You would take it in a poison ivy case. If you had poison ivy, poison oak, it's one of the things that you would do for that. And the one that I have to replace it is called Cytozyme Thigh, which is thymus, and it's the Biotics version glandular to replace it. And then Thyrotrophin, which is a thyroid glandular that Standard Process made. Couple different ways you can go here. With any thyroid case, like I say, when everybody says, what can you do for thyroid? I said, well, I always will basically recommend iodine as a base product, always. But then from there, there's other things you can do. Biotics has a really good one called GTA Forte. It's a very, very good thyroid combo product. That's 40 for 90 count. And then Innate has a very good one as well called Thyroid Response Complete Care. So which one's better? I can't really say at this point. I don't have enough feedback on both products. I've had good feedback on the Thyroid Response. I've had reorders. That's typically good feedback. Thyroid Response Complete Care, and that's 90 count, 59. The Innate tends to be more expensive. It just tends to be on the pricier side. If you had a really bad thyroid case, you could do all of it and get your thyroid back on track, and then slowly cut back on some of the nutrients that you're taking and maybe eliminate one. The thing about the thyroid is it of all glands, of all endocrine glands in the body, it does respond the slowest. So you have somebody that's been on Synthroid for 2 years and they're like, I want to get off Synthroid. It's just not that easy. You probably will never get off Synthroid. You might want to transition to Armor and then do a protocol like this and see if you can cut back dosage. But you have to understand, the longer the body's on a drug, the more it gets dependent on it, the more that organ system starts to shut down. And the thyroid is the hardest one to bring back to life that there is. So that's, just good to know about that. Next product from Standard Process, Trace Minerals B12. Kind of a general overall trace mineral with a heavy emphasis on manganese. The product that I brought in is Multi-Mins Potent Mineral Combination by Biotics, 120 count for $15. Very reasonable, really good, just trace mineral product if you wanted to do that. Tune Omega 3 by Standard Process. Again, I've replaced that with a Pharmix Finest Fish Oil. Just, you can't even, when I did the comparisons on those, it was such a better value. It was just off the scale. So, next one, Utrophin, which is the dedicated uterine glandular product that Standard Process make. The product for that, the crossover, is called Equifem. 126 tablets. It's a weird tablet count for $38. It's the closest one I could find. This took me like 3 months of work to try to pour over multiple product lines that I had access to find out what's the best one. What's the best one for the money, and what's the best one as far as a crossover, highest quality, best ingredients to try to find. So this is like the fruit of that. Really it's been more than 3 months because I have went back and looked at this and even retooled some of this that I've already come up with. Next product, Vasculin, which was a product for valve, more structural issues, valve issues, electrical issues of the heart. Oh, that's another thing you would use Cataplex B for, which was the main component of Vasculin. And I found that I believe the Biocardiozyme Forte, the main product I have for the heart, which replaces Cardio Plus, is also a replacement for Vasculin. So it's kind of like one-stop shopping for the heart, the Biocardiozyme Forte. And again, that comes in a 120 count bottle for $25 and a 360 count bottle for $65. It's the one I take. I'm not going to go off it. My heart's felt great. And then if you want to add extra support in there, you can do the Cytozyme H, the heart glandular, as well. Or you can just take the multi-gland product that I told you about, and it has the heart glandular in it as well. And there is heart glandular in the Biocardiozyme Forte. So I'm not even saying you need it. I'm saying if you wanted extra support for the heart. You could also do CoQ10. And again, on all the other things I mentioned. You want to thin the blood, nattokinase. You could look at EDTA chelation. There's a lot. You want to make sure the liver's clean. You want to make sure the kidneys are cleansed. You want to make, all these things contribute to heart health. I wish it wasn't so complicated, but the body's a complicated issue. A vehicle there that we're talking about. Next product. Wheat germ oil. I don't have an alternative for that. I don't have anything in any of the product lines that I have an alternative for that. That one, you can get that anywhere. Just, I would make sure it's a high quality. I would probably want to refrigerate it. And that's a really good one. It's a good one for hormonal cases and for energy and that type of thing. You want to make sure you're not getting GMO wheat germ oil, though. Zinc liver chelate by Standard Process. The product that I have for that one is the Z-Enzyme Forte. It's the one I take personally. I take a little extra of this for my immune system and for my prostate. So it could be something you would even add into a prostate program. Now, if you were doing 3 a day of the Palmetto product that I told you about, you're probably getting enough. It's already got a good dose in there. So I also have, because zinc is really super important for fighting off colds, and this is another thing you could implement at the start of a sore throat, I have zinc lozenges, lemon flavored. They're really good. 60 count. It's only $9. And it's something that you could keep on hand in your medicine kit, like with some of these other products that I mentioned, and or the silver, and you feel something coming on and you feel it in your throat, this is something you could do real quick. Get some zinc into your system, bathe that throat with zinc. It's very, very good for the immune system. So I've got those two forms of zinc now. Let's see here. Zymex capsules and Zymex wafers, which is basically, these are products that you would do by standard process to mitigate candida in the intestinal tract. Now, I tend to take a more direct approach. I do the 2014 Flora or the 5014 Flora or the 207, that one, and I tend to go with that route. Now, this is something that creates a kind of a environment in the intestinal tract that is less conducive to candida formation. So it works a little differently than the Flora would. So the closest thing I could find to that was a product from Biotics called Biodolph 7 Plus. And that would be the product I would use to replace both Zymex or Zymex wafers. And that's 60 count for $34. And then Zymex 2, which is the product that I did in conjunction with Wormwood Complex by MediHerb, which is the sister company, which is what we're going to talk about next. I'm actually getting close to being done. Thank God. This is part 4. I didn't know it was going to take this long. Should have known. You do a parasite protocol. And this is something I haven't talked as much about as I probably should, but a huge percentage of the American population has parasites. And what I would do is do Zymex 2 and Wormwood. I believe I've still even got those in stock. Great protocol. The Wormwood Complex by MediHerb basically goes after parasites from a herbal standpoint. It basically eradicates the parasites with the herbs. The herbs are basically toxic to the parasites. Not toxic to us, but to the parasites. But there's another way you can go after parasites, and that is enzymatically. And I did the Zymex 2 because that is more of an enzyme protocol that would actually digest the outer portion of the parasite carcass, which is protein-based. So kind of it's like a 1-2 punch for parasites. I've literally put people on this protocol and particularly women are more prone to this because they tend to have lower stomach acid. And remember what I said about low stomach acid? It sets you up for parasite infestation, particularly if you have type A blood. That's just the way God made us. But a woman with type A blood is going to be very, very prone to parasite infestation. They're going to be usually the types of people that don't like a lot of red meat because they can't digest it. It upsets them. Or dark meat. They don't like it. And they're going to be very prone to parasite infestation. It's the way it is. There's nothing that, and for them, they would benefit from doing the hydrozyme because it's an acid-based enzyme, and you would be able to digest a lot of things that might normally upset you and probably have no problem with it. And then you would also probably be a lot less prone to parasite infestation. But once you got them, this is what you got to kill them. There's only one thing you can do. And you could take all the flora in the world, you could do all the bowel cleansing in the world, it's not going to get rid of the parasites. So the best way to get rid of them is like this particular protocol. Now, the protocol I have, right now I've still got Zymex 2 and Wormwood in stock, but I'm going to be switching over to, it's called Bromelain Plus CLA. It's the direct enzymatic crossover from Zymex 2 that Biotics makes. You have to understand, a lot of the Biotics products that I'm going over today were literally created to be a direct crossover from standard process. They've literally got their own crossover list. There's only one other company, I think it's NutraWest, that's done that. But I think Biotics has done it best. And so that's the specific direct crossover to Zymex 2. Bromelain Plus CLA, 100 tablet for $20. And then the direct crossover from Wormwood Complex by MediHerb. And Wormwood Complex by MediHerb is $71 for a 120 count bottle. It's not cheap stuff. It's very high quality, but the herbs are very high quality, but they're very expensive. The herbal crossover for that from Biotics is called Dysbiocide, and that's 120 capsules for $29. So that's your parasite protocol. Okay, typically you do parasite protocols for, I believe, I think 3 weeks on, and then you take like 10 days off, and then you do another 3 weeks. And it depends. I've had particularly women, you put them on a parasite protocol, and they literally, this one lady back in Fort Myers she literally started passing parasites like the next day, and passed it for 3 weeks straight. She got to the end of the 3 weeks, and she was still passing parasites. Well, okay, we take 10 days off. It basically tricks the parasites into thinking, okay, everything's gone, and then they kind of think everything's cool, and then they come back, they kind of start to try to reemerge, and then you hit them again. And we had to do like 2-3 week protocols with her in order to get like where she wasn't passing parasites anymore. So we got that to think about. Okay. Then I've got the last product in the standard process, Zypan, and we've already covered it. Zypan was my primary acid-based digestive enzyme. And the one we've got now is the Hydrozyme. It comes in a 90 count for $13 and a Hydrozyme 250 count for $31. Very reasonably priced. Best digestive enzyme I have overall, especially if you can tolerate an acid-based enzyme. And really, that's what you should be using anyway if you can. And if not, you have the innate digestive food-based enzymes as an alternative. Okay, so let's go over to MediHerb now. We're almost done. The product I had for the herbal allergy product that I had was called Albizia. And most of these I still have in stock, but Albizia, again, I'm replacing it with Histoplex AB. I've never seen a better allergy product in my life from Biotics. It's amazing. 90 count for $35. Boswellia, which was the Ayurvedic herb that was the natural anti-inflammatory. Again, the Ensflame 30 serving powder has the Boswellia in it, and it has the curcumin, turmeric, and it has the CMO, and all that other stuff that I mentioned. It's the one I'm personally taking, and I really see a huge difference with it. And I know about joint issues. I know if something's working or if it's not. That's the one. Now, if you don't want to do a powder, though, I've got the Innate Response Inflamma Complete, which is also a really good one that has, and I'll just go over because I haven't really went over that yet. That one has turmeric, curcuminoids as its first ingredient, 750 milligrams, and then ginger, another anti-inflammatory, what's in the other, food state cranberry, a holy basil, black cherry extract, which is also really good for gout. That's another alternative for gout. And then a black pepper, which actually they put the black pepper bioprene in there in order to activate the other ingredients from what I've been told. So that's another really good one I have if you want something in a capsule form and you don't want to take a powder. So I got a couple different alternatives on the anti-inflammatories. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited I'm almost through this. Because this is so taxing mentally trying to go over all this. It's like I said, 30 years of combined knowledge trying to just do it off the top of my head. Okay, next one I have is called Bronch Effect, which is a really, really good one. And again, I've got most of these in stock still. Bronch Effect, really good herbal for the lungs, for any kind of lung case. It would be an herbal, whereas the Pneumozyme I've got is more of a whole food-based lung product. This would be more of an herbal. All of these are herbs that I'm covering right now. So got that one. Again, the crossover is the Pneumozyme lung concentrate. Chase Tree. Probably the best thing if you could just do one thing for any PMS, any menstrual problems, like the queen of all herbs for anything menstrual related. Okay, for women. The one that I've got right now, and I brought this in, I've got a dedicated Chase Tree that's not even listed on here. And I've also got, it's called PMS support. 60. It's a 60 capsule bottle for 38. And the reason I brought it in is because, again, with Chase Tree, we're putting all of our eggs in one basket. And I like the combo products because they kind of like, you're covering more bases. You're not just putting all your eggs in one basket. Chase Tree is one of the main ingredients in this. But it's also got a lot of other things. It's got a lot of vitamins in it. It's got magnesium in it, which a lot of times is very important for any menstrual, for the cramping. You've got D3 in it. You've got folate. You've got this stuff called DIM, Bioresponse DIM, which is also very good for any menstrual type PMS case. So I've got both that I've brought in because I figured that, I want to have something a little more comprehensive than just Chase Tree. And then Echinacea by MediHerb, I brought in a liquid 2 fluid ounces, 60 milliliter Echinacea mix. It's Echinacea and a couple other herbs in there. It's more of a broad spectrum for the immune system for 27. And then garlic. I told you about the garlic. I brought in a garlic plus parsley. Parsley is super, super good cleansing type of product as well. I brought that in to replace that. Golden Seal. I have brought in a Golden Seal herbal extract. Hawthorn, which is kind of like, if you're going to do one herb for the heart, Hawthorn's the one. Okay, that's another thing you can add in any heart protocol, any cardiovascular protocol. And I brought in what's called Hawthorn Max, 60 capsules. It's really good therapeutic dose for $17. So that's a no-brainer one you could add any cardiovascular case. That's probably the only one that I kind of left out. That's why I wanted to cover this from A to Z, because I knew there was stuff I was going to forget. I'm not even covering my whole product line. There's other stuff I've left out today. And these are like the main ones. And I'm going to cover one other thing. In fact, I'll do that right now, because this won't take very long. I also have, it's a product line called MBI, and it's a product line. They're antigens, and basically it's 1 ounce bottles, I believe, and it's in like a little alcohol base. And if you have, okay, for instance, the first product, animal antigens. If you're allergic to animals, okay, any animals, horse, cat, dog, whatever, okay, this is the one you would want to take. Animal antigens. Okay, I know for me, I am severely allergic to horses. Certain types of cats as well, but horses, oh my word, my literal eyes could swell shut being around horses. When I used to go to the rodeo, I mean, it was just, I used to like donate chiropractic care at rodeos, at local like rodeos where they barrel race and did stuff like that. Man, I'll tell you, I'm not lying. Taylor would tell you, we would literally sit in before we went into the rodeo, and I would have about 5 Antranex under my tongue, chomped up with like the Albizia complex that I told you about, or I had another one called Euphrasia, with all this peppermint on my mouth because they taste so horrid. I would chew them up so I could get them into my system quicker. And I would go in there and I'd have to have a pocket full of Antranex with me just to get through a rodeo because I was so allergic to the horses. It was unbelievable. So, I mean, I really try to practice what I preach, okay? I wish I would have had a product like this, Animal Antigens, back in the day, because I think that could have saved me a lot of grief. It's $13 for a 1 ounce bottle. Then there's another one. Are you allergic to coffee, tea, or chocolate? A lot of people are. There's one for that. Coffee, tea, chocolate antigens. Dairy antigens, if you're allergic to dairy. A lot of people are. I am, to a certain extent, allergic to dairy as well. And they're all $13 for a 1 ounce bottle. You don't have to do a ton of it. It's not like you just do like drops per day or whatever, or maybe it depends on how allergic you are. And then there's one for grain and seed, which would be really, really good for people that have gluten issues. Okay, grain and seed antigens, that's 13. Nightshade antigen. Nightshades are a particular type of vegetable family: potatoes, onions, peppers. Anybody that's allergic, and a lot of people are allergic to nightshades, and if you are allergic to them and if you're eating them, it can cause a lot of joint inflammation in the body. Okay, so that's another one. So I just wanted to like cover that really super, super quick. My essential oils, I might as well just go through this. I've got a deep rest roll-on. You can do a roll-on before bed. It kind of helps you go to sleep. Eucalyptus radiata, that's the one I put 1 drop in the nebulizer or nasal things that I do. Eucalyptus, it's really good to do in like essential oil ultrasonic diffusers if you're trying to clear the lung fields out. Okay, so then the next essential oil that I've gotten, these are all like basically whenever they can be organic, they are organic. Some of the oils really they can't be organic. It's just not like it's just not an option. It like only occurs in one part of the earth and it grows wild and it basically is organic. The frankincense, which you hear a lot about in the Bible, a very, very therapeutic herb. You can just look up all the attributes of frankincense if you want to know more about it. I get a high reorder on this one. 5 milliliters. It's a smaller bottle, but it's only $15, and frankincense can be extremely expensive because just like in biblical times, it was very rare, and it is rare. So for $15, it's about as good as I've seen it to get a really high quality. These are Amarita essential oils. You can check them out online. They're extremely high quality. For the money, I think for the money and for the quality level you're getting, I have not seen anything that can really compare. Now, they don't have the most diverse product line. I don't have every essential oil on the planet. If you want to have essential oils that go outside of these oils I'm talking about, I would recommend Amanda's Apothecary online. That particular website has about every essential oil you can imagine. The problem is it's, kind of new agey. It's kind of hard to get away from that. But they've got very, very high quality essential oils. They're a little pricier, but it's a better overall selection. That's where I go to kind of is my gap filler, to do that. I've got a headache roll-on, which you can use for if you feel a headache coming on, you do a roll-on over your forehead and over your temples. A lot of times it'll help knock that edge off a headache. That's only $10. Lavender oil, so good for so many things. Burns, it's like the Swiss Army knife of all essential oils is how it's referred to. You can, if you have a child that they can't go to sleep, babies, you can put it in a ultrasonic diffuser. And the cool things about ultrasonic diffusers is you might only have to use, like 15 drops, and in a big thing of water last a long time. Whereas if you're actually using a real essential oil diffuser, you're going to go through essential oils like crazy. It's very, very expensive proposition to use them with that. But the ultrasonic diffusers that you use them with, you can get them online. It's the way to go. I have a lime deodorant. A 4-ounce lime deodorant that is basically like essential oil of lime with some other things. Excellent, all good ingredients for $7. I have a wild-crafted oregano essential oil for $15. I have an organic peppermint. It's the one I use personally. I carry peppermint everywhere I go. It comes in a 10 milliliter for $11 or a 59 milliliter for $40. And again, for organic peppermint oil, it's about the best price I could find. And then I carry a tea tree oil. Tea tree oil is really good for, it's highly antibacterial, antiviral, really, really super good for topical applications of any kind of infection, ringworm, stuff like that, toenail fungus. You can use a combination of tea tree oil on toenail fungus and alternate that with the 5,000 part per million mild silver protein. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. That's you're dealing with the extremity of the extremity, the toes. Doesn't get a very good blood supply. As we age, our circulation goes down, but you should be able to battle it back with that combination. So those are the essential oils that I've got. I'm just looking at some of these other ones that I might not have covered. Iodoral is okay. I've got some, no, I sold out of prolamine iodine. I've only got the one iodine now from Iodozyme HP. I believe it's 6 milligrams of iodine per tablet, 120 count for $34. And then I've got Iodoral, which is 12.5 milligrams per tablet, which is double that. And that comes in a 90 count and a 180 count. The 90 count's $28, the 180 count's $50. Typically, I tell people I would go there. Some people opt for the Iterol 50 milligrams. Now, the one thing about it is, and I can email you this, but some people that are super deficient, they can take 50 milligrams and do it for months on end and not reach what they call saturation level. Some people might be a lot more sensitive and they take 50 and they can't handle that much. And typically, if you've reached saturation level of iodine in the thyroid, you're going to get a brassy taste in your mouth and you're going to get a very, very low pounding headache. So the 50 milligram would be, that comes in a 30 count and a 90 count. Like that's the one I do, but I basically I just break them in half. You can break them in half. And I do like one every third night or every third day. You know, if I do a 50 milligram before bed, I'll generally wake up with a headache now. I've reached saturation level, in other words. And I mean, that headache don't go away. Your body will tell you when you've reached saturation level. And so I'm a lot more cautious with it now once I finally reach saturation. It took me a long time to get there, though. But probably as far as bang for the buck, the 50 milligram iodoral is probably the best value you're going to get. I just break them in half, and like I say, I do one every 3 to 4 days. So it's only 25 milligrams. So I have that as an alternative. I also have, I'm going to cover this anyway, the silymarin that I had from MediHerb, which is a milk thistle. So silymarin is like the active component of milk thistle. Milk thistle is another thing that you can do for your liver, and I do believe I think it's part of the liver trit product that I said. But if you wanted to do a dedicated milk thistle, I do have that. I wanted to make sure that when I did this product line switchover, I had all of the actual switchover products. I think I might. No, I've sold out of my milk thistle from MediHerb. So I do have this. Milk thistle is not so much a detoxer as it is a liver protectant. Meaning you would do it if you had abused your liver for a long time, or you are abusing your liver. Let's say you're on a lot of different medications. It would be probably the single best thing you could do to protect your liver. Not really to detox it, but to protect it. It does have some indirect effects on the detoxification, but it's more like it oils the gears of detoxification, how I've heard it described, but it's not so much detoxifying you. The other stuff that I mentioned on the liver detox is what actually gets the job done. But milk thistle is the finest product I know of to protect and probably help to rebuild the liver. The liver has an unbelievable capacity to regenerate if you start taking care of it. Okay, so then I've got, let's see here. I'm just kind of looking at the ones that maybe I haven't covered. I do have a product called serapeptase, which if you have any scar tissue injuries or scar tissue issues, it's the best thing I know of for that. Serapeptase specifically would be an enzyme you would take on an empty stomach to dissolve internal scar tissue. Comes in a 30 count and a 90 count bottle. The 30 count's 24, the 90 count's 65. It's not a cheap product. These enzymes are all expensive. The silica that I had mentioned before comes in 60 count bottles for $15, and that's the finest product I know of for a lot of different things: hair, skin, and nails, rebuilding bones, just a lot of different stuff. And yeah, Super 2 I'd mentioned before. So that's basically the products. I'm looking at any of the other things that I might have here that I haven't really mentioned. No, not really. Not really. Okay, so let's go back to the actual, when we're almost done here. And, okay, I left off at hawthorn. So the next one is horse chestnut. Okay, so horse chestnut by MediHerb was a product I would do. It was actually horse chestnut complex. And it was a series of, I think, like 4 herbs. I still have it in stock. That is really, really good at strengthening the veins. So it would be the herbal thing you would do to strengthen veins. You've got Collinsonia. You've got the bioflavonoids product that I told you about. And then if you wanted to do something on the herbal side, let's say you had a really, really bad hemorrhoid case and you wanted to do everything you could do to strengthen the veins, and let's say you had a very, very bad varicose vein thing, you would do a horse chestnut type complex. Okay. I have that one in stock. The one I've brought in is the Genestria collinsonia, and let me just check this one right now. I just want to check the ingredient list on it because there are specific reasons I brought all of these products in, and I want to look at the label here. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this one is a lot more than just collinsonia. This would be the main one, yes, you would do for hemorrhoids, for sure. But it also has it has the collinsonia, also known as stone root. It has milk thistle, which is also very highly protectant for the liver. And also the liver is very, very highly implicated, as I said before, in any hemorrhoid case. Okay. It has calendula, marshmallow root. These are very soothing type herbs. Dandelion's really good and acts as a diuretic as well. Witch hazel, which is like an astringent, really good internal herb, and also parsley. So that's another one that if you're going to do the collinsonia formula, you probably wouldn't even need the horse chestnut because you're covering a lot of bases with this one. And again, it's just one more kind of product that's covering more bases than the product I was using previously, which I like. I've already covered this one, milk thistle similarian. I brought in a silimarian milk thistle standardized capsule for 60 capsules for $27. You could add that to any liver case if you wanted to. Nervagesic, which was a product that I still do have from MediHerb. And again, if you've had it, if you've used it and you like it, I haven't raised my prices any. You will pay probably triple on Amazon because they're not supposed to be selling those on Amazon. So if they're doing it, they know they're going to get busted, and in other words, they triple inflate the prices in order to I guess compensate for the risk they're taking, who's ever doing this. It's doctors working with unscrupulous suppliers. Doctors are ordering it, they're selling it to suppliers at like a discounted thing, and the suppliers are putting it up there at an elevated price. It's all a big no-no, according to standard process protocols. Okay, Nervagesic, which is kind of a nerve tonic type of product. And the one I brought in for that is called Tranquil Sleep Tri-Essence Powder Blend for $19. St. John's wort. You do St. John's wort in certain depression cases. Some people it works good, some people it doesn't. You also use, like if you had a nerve case, you were trying to heal nerves, you would use inositol, which I mentioned earlier. You had nerve damage, nerve case, you use inositol, or you had inflamed nerves. Let's say you had a really, really inflamed sciatic nerve, or a really inflamed, well, I guess you could have shingles. Shingles would be a good example. You had a pinched nerve. You had any kind of nerve case, there, especially if there's damage involved. You use inositol, which is the B vitamin that I mentioned previously. Have it in powder and tablet to heal it. And then you can also use St. John's wort to calm the nerve down and to heal it. One's herbal, one's food. One's kind of more of a whole food. That's your 1-2 combo for healing nerves. Now, what you can also do is if you had a nerve case where it was like, I don't know, a nerve in the foot, diabetic neuropathy, things of this nature, you could use the essential oil called helichrysum. I don't sell it. You can get it at that Amanda's Apothecary. And it's very, very, very good for any nerve pain, and it'll also heal nerves. It's extremely expensive, though. I'm just warning you. Helichrysum is super expensive, but it is very, very good at healing nerves. So that's kind of like your 1, 2, 3. Now, granted, if you've got a pinched nerve because your back's out of alignment, all of this is like kind of putting a Band-Aid on it, but you got to get your actual back in alignment in order to do that. So that's kind of a chiropractic issue. Maybe you can Maybe you can straighten it out with the inversion rack and with that sand dune stepper and doing some stretches and things of this nature. But the bottom line is if you have a hard bone on a soft nerve, you got to get the hard bone off the soft nerve in order for the nerve to actually heal, in order for that to calm down. Your body's giving you pain for a reason. So something that and I have a whole file on chiropractic that I can send out as well if you email me. And I can send that. Please, if you're going to email me, though, keep it really brief and just let me kind of know what you want, and hopefully I can get it back to you in a Word document format. There's no way. If you write me a whole bunch of paragraphs, I can't even look at it. I have people, and I've said it to this day, I'll probably get a whole bunch after this email. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just saying I always do. I will get their whole health history. I'm like, this is why I got out of private practice. I don't have time anymore. I'm a one-man band. I'm trying to do the ministry. I'm trying to record all the teachings. I'm trying to upload them. I'm trying to do all my conversions. I'm trying to do my PDFs. I'm trying to answer both scriptural and end time and health questions every single day. And then I'm just trying to do normal everyday life without a wife. It's tough. I mean, it's a lot on my plate. And so basically, that's why I have to keep things brief, and that's why I have Word documents, and that's why, I mean, even prayer requests. We have a Facebook, one of my listeners put up a Facebook thing, and that's where I actually will, you can email me, I can send you a link to it. There's a couple different links for prayer requests. I don't have, I just don't have time to be in dedicated intercessory prayer. That's not what I'm called to anyway. Not saying I don't pray, but when I get deluged with prayer requests on top of everything else, there's only so much one person can do, essentially. And I'm not mad, I'm just being honest, I just want to kind of tell you where I'm coming from there. So you got, okay, next product, Tribulus Testaris, from MediHerb, really, really good testosterone, natural producer. Again, I've already told you the alternatives I have. It's the Testogain capsules, more of a comprehensive product, with the Cytozyme Orchic. Those are the two I would prescribe for naturally increasing testosterone and also getting your liver nice and clean. The turmeric liquid that I was selling, I do have a couple dedicated turmeric products. Now, I've already told you about the Ens Flame. I've already told you about the Inflamma Complete, which is kind of like my two best anti-inflammatories. Combo products. One's a capsule, one's a powder. I do, though, have two turmeric dedicated products. If you just wanted turmeric, I have it's called Air Curcumin turmeric capsules, 90 for 27, and a Curcumin RX 60 for 32. They're both really good. I don't know which one's better. I have not had them in my line long enough to know which one's better, but they were the best I could find. Okay, on the research I was doing. And again, this is a learning process for me because, I'm moving over to another product line, so I'm still in the process of learning, okay, this is the best product. So, then Vitanox, which was the best herbal antioxidant product that I had. Very good product. Very good for like an anti-aging product. The product that I've brought in is called BioProtect Plus, which is the best antioxidant type herbal product that I could find to compare to Vitanox. It's only about, it's probably about a third of the price. So that's the one that I brought in, my herbal antioxidant. It's $25 for that one. Probably for like 60 or 90 caps, it doesn't say. And then the Wild Yam Complex by MediHerb. The reason I would use that one typically would be for menopausal type. Like I would use Chase Tree for anything PMS related, menstrually related, generally Chase Tree. Okay. Well, the Wild Yam was kind of my go-to product for anything menopausal. Now, the ones I brought in, though, I kind of like better because they're a little more specific. The first one is called Biopause AM, which is the one you would take if you're having more menopausal symptoms during the day. And then there's another one, and I believe I've got them both right now, and if not, I can order them and get them in, is the Biopause PM, which is if you're having menopausal symptoms that you're having trouble getting to sleep, let's say you're having really bad hot flashes before bed, can't get to sleep, it's menopausally related, well, then you do the Biopause PM. You probably want to do both because you're going to, you know, ideally, if you're in a bad menopausal symptom. Another thing you want to do with menopause is you really, really, really want to support the adrenals. It's very, very important to support the adrenals. With healthy functioning adrenals, you'll make the transition from menstruation to non-menstruation to menopause, basically, in a much more timely, better manner. It won't be near as much of a hassle as I'm just looking at the ingredient list here. Okay. It's mostly all herbal, it looks like. Yeah, oh no, it's got adrenal support in it too. The Biopause AM, so it's got adrenal support built into it. Rhodelia rosa extract for adrenal support. Tenera diffusia for ancient aphrodisiac. Utica dioica extract to aid in limiting sex hormone binding globulins. Ginkgo biloba, which is, you know, we talked about that earlier. And Panax for increased circulation to the extremities, including the sex organs. So, an evaluation using BioDrive, 12 of 17 women, or 71% responded to a survey reported that they had greater interest in sex. So I guess this is a really good thing for sex drive during menopause. Which, if you're married, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So anyway, the one is more for nighttime. You can't get to sleep, probably having hot flashes, that type of stuff, the Biopause PM. And the one is more for daytime. So the Biopause AM is $29 for 120 count. And the other one is $22 for 120 count. Which is a lot better price than the Wild Yam Complex, which was $98 per bottle. I think I still have one left, but that's another thing. The MediHerb products are so incredibly expensive. I felt almost embarrassed when I forwarded price lists on them. The reason is all the herbs are from Australia. They're all sourced in Australia. They go through 19,000 hoops to process the herbs. They are incredibly good, but between getting them to Australia to here and all the other stuff and probably tariffs and all this other things, the prices were astronomical. And we're not having to worry about that with these new lines that I'm bringing in. Last product is Wormwood Complex from the MediHerb, and again, I already went over that. That's the primary parasite product I have herbally, and the product for that is replacement is Dysbiocide, 120 count, $29. And one other product I have is a dedicated grapeseed extract. 100 milligrams, 60 capsules. That's a really good antioxidant. So that's all I have for today. We're probably nipping at, between the 4 studies, probably nipping at about 5 hours to get in basically my whole product line. And hopefully a huge education. This is a study that you can point other people to, and I will be pointing other people to in the future if they just want a gigantic education on health in general. Whether they order anything from me or not, hopefully I gave you some pointers on what you can do, what causes things in this type of information. It's about, like I said, about 30 years of my knowledge in the last 5 hours to put all this together. And so that's all we have for today. And I will probably get back to the studies that I've been doing, like the Alien Agenda 1 Exposed, probably the next time, unless some other gigantic current event comes up in the meantime. So God bless you, and we will see you in the next study.